Have you ever thought about the true meaning of living alone in your 20s? When I first talked to my friends about this, they all said to me, "Now you'll have complete freedom, the power to make your own decisions and enjoy life without any restrictions." At that moment, I just smiled because, to be honest, I had thought the same. But behind that perceived freedom lies a deeper truth that hardly anyone openly talks about. Today, I want to share with you the journey of my life that truly changed me, a journey that forced me to rediscover myself. So, let's get started. I remember the day I stepped into my first apartment. It was a small but lovely flat that I could call my own. I still remember the moment I opened the door for the first time. There was a strange happiness. Now this is my place, I told myself. No parental restrictions, no one asking when to come and when to go. It was a wonderful experience of freedom. The first few weeks flew by like the wind, going out with friends, cooking what I wanted, and watching my favorite TV shows late at night. But then, something strange began to happen. After a few weeks, I realized that despite everything, something was missing. One day, when I returned home from work, there was an eerie silence in the house. This silence was not just external, but felt deep inside. What once seemed like beautiful freedom now started feeling heavy. I found myself sitting for hours on the phone without talking to anyone. I remember thinking that evening, when was the last time I had a deep conversation with someone? This loneliness was hollowing me out from within, slowly. Even if you are an introvert, you realize that humans need to interact with others. Whether it's light chit-chat or deep conversations, it's in our nature to connect with others. But when you live alone, that connection gradually starts to diminish. And then, the silence feels deeper. Then came the financial challenges. At first, everything seemed fine, but then suddenly, bills and rent felt like bombs exploding in 1 month. Electricity bills, water bills, internet, it all added up and made me realize how heavy it could be. I was standing at the grocery store once, and when I saw the bill, I felt panic for a second. Will I be able to manage this? That was a moment when I realized my responsibilities. It wasn't just about the money, but about the mental pressure that loomed over me every month. The biggest challenge came when I understood that I was now the master of my own life. But this also meant that the responsibility for my habits was solely mine. There was no one to tell me to wake up early, no one to inspire me to go to the gym. Slowly, I found myself falling into a comfortable routine, staying up late, waking up late, and spending my days eating junk food. These habits began to form, and I asked myself, is this the life I wanted? Then came a turning point. One night, when I was sitting alone in my apartment, frustrated that I couldn't steer my life in the right direction, I realized that I still had to understand the real meaning of this freedom. I decided that I needed a change. I resolved to create a routine for myself, waking up early, eating healthy, and working out. It was tough at first, but gradually it became a habit. And then I realized that self-discipline is the most crucial part of any freedom. But the heaviest burden was emotional. Living alone doesn't just mean financial and physical responsibilities, but also emotional ones. There were times when things went wrong, and I didn't know whom to talk to. There was no shoulder to lean on. But then, one day I told myself, this is my journey, and I have to decide it myself. This realization was a significant turning point, and this is where my real journey began, understanding myself and connecting with myself. I learned that loneliness doesn't just bring sadness, but also gives us a chance to know ourselves. That silence, which I once considered my enemy, became my greatest companion. I embraced those quiet moments and started talking to myself. Gradually, I began to see myself as a person who could be completely happy even without anyone else around. What was the greatest gift of living alone? Acceptance of myself. I learned that I didn't need to be in a relationship to feel complete. I began to focus on my interests, my dreams, and my goals. And then I realized that living alone is not a weakness. It can be our greatest strength. So if you're thinking of living alone in your 20s, don't be afraid. It's a challenging journey, but it can teach you things you might not learn in any other way. This journey of discovering yourself will make you the best version of yourself. If you liked my experience, please share your experiences in the comments below. And if you want more tips related to adulthood, be sure to check out my other videos.